And another one. What's up, people? Manar here, coming to you with a video. This time we are going to be making a really nice dessert. It is called Flan, a quick and easy custard with very basic ingredients. The first thing that we need to do to get the flan going is get 2 containers, because it does require you to have water bath while you're baking it. You also need an oven. We need to start off by making caramel that we're going to be putting in the smaller container. To get that done, just take a non-stick container. I'm using about half a cup of sugar, and keep in mind not all this sugar is going to be used by you, because some of it is going to remain stuck and it's going to be generally melting. Using a wooden spoon, just start mixing it up, and as soon as you see lumps are forming, as soon as you start seeing lumps forming, just take a tea towel and just start moving that container around. Don't use a wooden spoon or anything like that. All we want is this sugar to start melting, and it doesn't take too long. I like to use a non-stick pan, that way I have less cleanup to do. And just rotate it like this. As you can see, it's already getting lumpy. And I also have my oven going right now for 350, and soon it's going to start melting. And again, it's important that you keep on shaking it, moving it around. And as you can see, it's crystallizing. As soon as it actually turns into a liquid, we will put it in a bread pan. You can also use a container that is heat proof. And if you can, please use cane sugar. Don't use the artificial sugar to make caramel, because it just doesn't taste right. I'm sorry. And keep in mind, this is going to be very, very hot, so please exercise caution. And as soon as the sugar has melted, really quick, pour it in and shake the pan around. Cover it as best as you can, and this is going to start setting pretty quick. Get it on the sides if you need to. Allows us to cool down a lot faster. Now please do not touch this. This thing is going to be blazing hot. Let it just sit on the side while we prep up everything else. Preferably toss it in the fridge, that way this thing crystallizes a lot faster, and even if it's uneven, don't worry about it. And now we're going to be cutting open a can of sweetened condensed milk, and this one is 14 ounces or 397 grams. Technically this thing is viscous, it is a liquid, it should be in milliliter, but who cares. And again, this one is sweetened condensed milk. Just open up the can and make sure to clean the can on the top, that way if there is anything mucky or yucky, it doesn't go into your food. The can has been washed. Now we're going to cut it open, and the whole can goes right into a blender. If you don't have a blender like this, you can always use a regular jar blender, or if you need to, use a smaller, or do it in batches. I mean, there is really not a wrong way of doing it. Till the time we are incorporating everything that we are putting in, that's all it matters. And I'm using a silicone spatula here. You can also put milk, because milk is going to be necessary to wash this off. And we're going to be using 2 cups of milk by measurement. And here the option is entirely yours. You can use skim milk, you can use full fat milk, you can use heavy cream, you can use half and half, whatever works. I'm using 2%, and as stated before, I'm just going to rinse off the can and put it in. And now we're going to be taking 4 eggs and just cracking them in. And I'm also going to be putting in half a tablespoon or half a teaspoon or 2.5 milliliter of vanilla extract. Shake it up. At this point, if you want, you can also use coffee extract or regular espresso coffee or instant coffee, preferably. You don't want the grounds in it. Or if you want, you can put nutmeg, whatever your heart desire, whatever flavor you want. You can even put chocolate powder, as a matter of fact, in it to give it flavor, any flavor that you like. Me personally, I'm going with vanilla. I had the option of using cocoa powder also, but not going to do that. On goes the cover. Hold it down. Initially start it off low, and if it seems like it might bleed off the edge, just let it relax a little. And you want to do it approximately for a minute. Make sure to also remove and scrape off any condensed milk that might be stuck on the bottom, because that is a little bit more viscous. If your blades are not reaching the bottom, it might get stuck. Just give it a little help to dissolve with a silicone spatula, because you won't be able to see anything. Please exercise caution. Scrape off the sides, and once you're done, and now the hardened crystallized caramel that we made, and you can hear it, it sounds like glass. Now we can put the flan mixture into the container. Careful not to spill anything. And know one thing, when you're putting it in, it is going to make a crackling sound like it's fracturing. And just pour it in. And once you have poured it in, you can also, to add extra flavor, you can also dust the top surface with powdered cinnamon, fresh cinnamon if you like, and that gives it a nice base. I just use a tray strainer. This is when the second container comes in. Now what you need to do is put some hot water. Make sure the dish can handle the hot water. You don't want a dish that is not tempered, that might crack it if you put boiling hot water in it. Initially put just a little bit of water just to get it going. Once that is done, put a little bit more, and the remaining we are going to be putting once we put this in the oven. So put your flan mixture right in the center. Now let's pop it in the oven for about 45 minutes. In 45 minutes time, we're going to test it with a toothpick. It should come right out completely clean. And again, we are tossing it in to a 350 degrees oven. And be careful when you do that, because there is water in it. You don't want to spill hot water on yourself. And in the oven it goes for 45 minutes at 350. Just like that, it's done. Now I'm going to take it out, let it cool, and then we're going to flip it over. It's also worth pointing out that before it starts cooling completely, just take a knife and break the edges, because it is a custard-like item. It is going to sink. Once you take the knife and you go around the edges, and I also did a toothpick test just to make sure the toothpick comes out cleaner. Just let it cool on the counter. Once it does, then we can flip it over. Alright, once the flan has become somewhat cool to touch, that you can touch it and not feel hot, and you've done the toothpick test, now it's going to be a very nervous moment, because now you need to invert it onto a plate and make sure it fits, because if it doesn't fit, then it's going to be a disaster. So what I recommend to do is take the plate, put it on top, and this is where either it can go really bad or really good. And 1, holding it securely. 2, God, I hope it doesn't fail. 3, okay, caramel came out. That's a positive. I'm genuinely nervous. I hope it doesn't drop. I hope it doesn't break. And now we're going to be picking it up. Nervousness. Voila! It's done. And the caramel thing that is stuck on the bottom, just leave it in a hot tap. In a water, it'll dissolve. And this is how you make a really nice custard called flan. And you can trim the sides if you want to make it look pretty. Just trim the side, but enjoy it cold. Please don't eat it hot, because right now it has to firm up. As soon as you put it in the fridge, it's going to get more firmed up. But you can remove the side with a serrated knife, and it eats like a custard. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys and girls on the next video. Take care, people. Bye.